The thing that's tricky about production is it's always a puzzle, and you've got to get each and every piece to fit together. We have 7.5 days. Most network shows have 8, 9. Some cable shows get 12. I would love 12 days, but we have exactly 7.5 days.
It's an arduous process. You don't really read the script for the story at first, and after you've been doing this a long time, you see elements right away. Elements, 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 and what is it? What needs to be built? What do we have to manufacture? So you figure out how to put those farther away so you can shoot things up to those points.
Everybody is just on their A game 120% of the time, and that's what I just think is fantastic and wonderful, and it's especially fantastic to work with. I'm very, very honored to be where I am and working with the people that I work with.
Organized chaos is my forte. I love that. So this stuff is almost like fish in a barrel to a degree, but there's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot like trying to keep puppies in a box, or putting kittens in a box, and then you put 2 of them in, 3 of them escape, and it's just the nature of the business. I love it. I've been very fortunate to like what I do.
Rehearsal.
Okay.
Set up on the bits of this. They're stacked there really nice.
That was my biggest worry, is how are we going to have all these moving pieces going on while we're focusing on a woman stumbling in, and in the second scene, our cops reacting and chasing. There was so much to stage, and when you only have 7.5 days to shoot 57 pages, do the math, that's a lot of pages per day. And that scene, that theater scene, is half a page. That was probably 4 or 5 hours, and that left us with 7 or 8 hours to get the other 7.5 pages. So it was a big day. But I think if you just get it 2 seconds.
Right. Okay.
Okay. 2.
If you have to do construction, you get a couple of days, because we try to pre-do everything in our shop with the construction crew and the construction coordinator. But we have to often paint when we get to a place. So adding paint to a daily workload, we often will get 2 days at a location.
This show's on stage for 6 days and out for a day and a half or 2 or sometimes 1. So the first AD has to schedule and figure out what makes a day, how much work is within this day.
Come on.
We found a room upstairs in this theater complex that's a big open space with lots of windows, and we had to make it into a dance studio. It had a ceramic floor, so we brought in a wood dance floor and then put a marley floor, which is a dance floor, on top of the wood floor, brought in mirrors, brought in dance bars, equipment to make it look like it was a dance studio.
In this particular case, it is a location. It is not a dance studio, but it is similar to a dance studio. So we begin to figure out what elements do we need to create a dance studio, which in this particular situation, it comes down to we needed to put in a dance floor, we need to put in the ballet bars, full-length mirrors, etc., etc.
What we had to do is create the backdrop for our dance competition, which was the New England Dance Competition, and put that up. So it was a kind of a training exercise for all of us in electrics, grip, and art department of how to do theater work and make it look like theater work.
Action.
I had general ideas in my head about what I want to do with the camera. I never relay those to the cast. They tend not to want to hear about that. But I let the cast come out and use their playpen and be able to move around and do what they want. Angie may feel like she wants to get up in the scene to maybe relieve some dramatic tension. So I let them use that to move around a lot.
Working out 2 days a week.
Mark had actually done a movie of the week about dancing and was very familiar with this world, and I thought, fantastic. I'm really glad to have a director who's been in this world before and has filmed dancing and was also interested in it. He's also great with the actors. They all really enjoy working with him. He's pretty low-key, but he's intensely focused. He pays very close attention to all the details in the script and to the story, and that's what you want in a director, who takes it from you and feels the same kind of investment and passion that you feel.
From that, you would cut to a wide shot of this her running up stage. Then you cut to this shot.
Then you have that already?
No, we're going to shoot. Generally on a show like this, I don't like to do storyboards. It's a lot of dramatic elements, and although we do have action sequences here and there. And one thing I found is storyboards tend to lock actors in place. If I show up with diagrams, and I tell Angie, for instance, well, I'm going to put the camera here, and I want you to go over here and sit down and put your arm up on your thing here, look this direction, I think it stifles creativity. So I try to just let these scripts kind of speak for themselves and let them flow through and not lock them into anything too particular. So storyboards I generally try to stay away from so I can let the talent and the cast breathe and have a nice canvas to paint with.
Okay, well, shall we
Let's.
Okay.
Yes.
Guys, we'll put it up on our feet.
Let's follow this blood trail.
It's very important to me, as I keep saying, to get it right. Detective Russ is always there when we're shooting the crime scenes, and I want it to look like an actual crime scene, and I want it to reflect whatever has happened.
The lovely Sarah coming out of the wings, she's been stabbed in the chest. They put an apparatus on Sarah that allowed them to put this pair of scissors into her chest. Then we bloodied her up, and we brought her out here and laid her down behind this privacy screen. We took some stage blood, and we dribbled it along the floor, which indicates that as she's stumbling through the crime scene, she's dripping blood, till she finally loses consciousness, falls down. Then we added some blood to her hands and had her reach up and grab her chest area and grab the actual pair of scissors. So put blood on top of that. Then we had her lay down nice and still. We poured blood all over her wound and just left her there.
I don't want to get too disgustingly gruesome. I don't want to show the audience something that is too hard to look at. And I think one of the ways to do that is to make it as realistic as you can.
Oh man, those are ugly ass feet. Was she biting them?
And we have some terrific makeup artists so that on the day they can put the blood where the blood needs to go. And all of that verisimilitude is really important.
It involves discussing it with Janet, the directors, and Russ. And usually on the day when we do an effect like that, Russ is, right there in the mix and, giving suggestions of what's the most realistic way, where to place it. Sometimes he acts it out to make sure everything falls as far as placement for me, for my job.
Sorry, I thought I was doing a good job working at 2 days a week. That looks great.
Wow.
We've had to shoot way out of sequence as well because I've got minors here, and it's really hard to shoot television hours with minors. So they're in both dance numbers, they're in the crime scene, and I've had to stagger and shoot bits and pieces without them. And then we'll just continue throughout the day figuring out how to consolidate hours to make sure we get all this brilliant stuff that we want to show.
I couldn't believe how professional that dance team was. They were like little pros. You said action, and they went right into it. We also asked them to react to a woman stumbling onto the stage and dying in front of them. So that's always something that you worry about if you don't have trained actors. And those kids were dancers. They weren't actresses. And so we had to give them a little speech of what would you think if you were doing a dance performance. And one of the moms died on the stage, and you look down and she had scissors in her chest. And those kids made that day possible. I was really thrilled and proud to see them step up.
She has a dance troupe at her disposal. We would never have the time to be able to choreograph the kind of dancing and the thing you're going to see today. So there's some real production value coming out of this that's kind of rare for a 7.5-day shoot on a television show, and it's going to be kind of neat. So essentially what happens is we've got great, I love the crew, man. Now, please, anybody who's going to walk on this stage needs to be conscious. It is a crime scene. There is blood.
This crew is phenomenal. It is a really stable crew, and that's really important when you're working 13-hour days because you really find out who people are when they're tired, when they're hungry, when they haven't been able to go home and see their own families. And you want rock-solid professionals. You want people who are both good at what they do but are also decent human beings because you got to spend a lot of time together.
They really are the hardest working people in show business. I clocked 100 hours on the last episode. That's in 7 days. So they're right behind me. I mean, I know that they're just as tired as I am. They miss their families as much as I miss mine. They, you know, they get as exasperated as I do. But there is a deeply profound respect for everybody here and each one of us and what we do. I try to make it like a family. I want people to want to be here. You know, I try to make them laugh all the time, and it's just all of us together are a really big family.
She's pulling off her face. Bull. This is a really special crew and production because we all laugh a lot, which means we share a similar sense of humor. So we have a really great group of people, very creative, very smart. We can sort of get a little loopy and some crazy things can happen late on a Friday night, which is fun because after, you know, working so many hours and so many months, it's fun to break the ice and be able to feel comfortable just, you know, letting loose and laughing.
They call this a crew, and it's very much the same thing as a good, well-oiled sailing crew. So all these guys, they're all really, really good at their jobs. But while we got them, and they're so good. It's a very pleasant place to be, almost without exception.
Keep you out of handcuffs. Oh, hey, ho, ho, hey.
Okay.